He's the man who discovered the lost toilet of the Tudors. The revelation. Mr. von Schnibel arrived. He was a man who wore a monocle without irony and spoke in a whisper that required everyone to lean in uncomfortably close. He examined the painting for 20 minutes, sniffing the canvas and licking a small corner of the frame. It is remarkable, von Schnibel whispered. How much? Stanley demanded, rubbing his hands together. 10,000. 20. It is a very rare promotional poster for the 1952 Fruit and Wig Convention in Des Moines, von Schnibel announced. The gold frame is actually painted plastic. The signature G. Washington stands for Gus Washington, the local sign painter who organized the event. The room went silent. Stanley's face fell. Is it worth anything? Chrissy asked hopefully. To a collector of Fruit-and-Wig memorabilia, perhaps $5. To anyone else, it's a very heavy piece of trash. Stanley marched out, muttering about lost Tudor toilets. Jack and Jana looked at the painting. Well, Jack said, picking up the frame, I think the man in the wig looks a bit like Stanley when the rent is late. Let's keep it. It'll remind us of the time we were almost millionaires. Happy Sunday. Jana sighed. Can we use it as a dartboard? Chrissy asked. Chapter 35. The Cooking Class Catastrophe. Jack Tripper was officially desperate for cash. His culinary textbooks were becoming increasingly expensive, and the price of good olive oil had doubled. I'm starting a home cooking school, Jack announced, pinning a handwritten flyer to the lobby board. Tripper's Tasties. Learn to cook like a French man in your own apartment. Jana frowned. Jack, you know the rules. No commercial businesses in the building. Roper will have a fit. He won't find out. I'll call it a social gourmet gathering. And besides, my first student is already signed up. The student. A knock at the door revealed the student, Helen Roper. She was wearing a brand new apron that said, Kiss the Cook, but not Stanley. Oh, Jack, I've always wanted to learn how to make something other than a mystery casserole. Helen gushed. Stanley's palate is so dull he thinks salt is an exotic spice. Jack's lesson began with the art of the omelet. He was in his element, whisking and flipping with the grace of a gazelle. Helen was a dedicated, if somewhat clumsy, pupil. Now, Mrs. Roper, the secret is the wrist motion. It's a flick, not a thrust. The jealous landlord. The trouble started when Stanley Roper overheard the sounds of laughter and the sizzle of butter coming from apartment 201. He also noticed that Helen had been sneaking out with a bag of fresh herbs. What's going on up there? Stanley asked Jack in the hallway. Is there a party? Why wasn't I invited? I'm the landlord, I'm the life of every party I'm allowed to attend. It's just a study group, Mr. Roper. Jack lied. We're studying the history of the egg. Stanley didn't believe him. He convinced himself that Jack was running an illegal gambling den. He decided to stage a raid right in the middle of the social stage. Aha! Stanley screamed, bursting through the door with his clipboard and a whistle. I've got you now, you high-rolling. Oh, Helen? Stanley froze. He saw his wife, covered in flour, holding a whisk. Stanley, what are you doing? Helen asked, hands on her hips. I thought Tripper was running a casino. Where are the dice? Where are the showgirls? The only thing Jack is running is a class to save me from your terrible cooking. Stanley. Helen laughed. Now sit down and taste this omelet. If you can identify the herb. I won't tell the building inspector you've been using his car for extended test drives. Stanley took a bite. His eyes widened. It's delicious. Is that parsley? It's chervil. Stanley, Jack beamed. Stanley looked at Jack, then at his wife. All right, Tripper, you can keep your study group. But from now on, the tuition for Helen is a free dinner for me every Friday. And don't skimp on the butter. Chapter 36, The Misplaced Ring. The week ended with a mystery that threatened the very fabric of the household. Chrissy Snow had been helping Jeanne with the laundry in the basement when she found a small, glittering object in the lint trap of dryer number 2. It was a diamond ring. A very large, very expensive-looking diamond ring. Look, Jeanne, it's a sign. Chrissy squealed, sliding the ring onto her finger. The laundry goddess has chosen me for a life of luxury. Jeanne paled. Chrissy, that's not a sign. That's a potential lawsuit. That ring must belong to one of the tenants. We have to find the owner. The rumor mill. Within an hour, the entire building knew a diamond ring had been found. Jack, being the social butterfly of the trio, was the first to hear the rumors. But the rumors had mutated. By the time the news reached Larry Dallas, the story was that Jack had bought a ring to propose to Jeanne. Jack, my boy, congratulations. Larry cheered, slapping Jack on the back at the Beagle. I didn't know you had it in you. A diamond? In this economy, you must be deeper in debt than I thought. What proposal? What ring? Jack asked, confused. Everyone knows. Jack, even the bartender is preparing an engagement punch. The proposing pressure. Jack returned home to find Stanley Roper waiting on the landing, looking uncharacteristically sentimental. So, Tripper, you're finally making an honest woman out of one of them. I hope it's the florist. She has a better dental plan. Mr. Roper, I'm not proposing to anyone. Jack.